my name is Sheila Beck and the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share and subscribe and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And so, it's Wednesday morning. I've got my salmon shirt on. I think we're ready to talk about a few issues. The issue that I'm talking about today, in this video is, I spoke about it last night on a live stream, and as we developed it, to me, it made quite a lot of sense. I think Dr. Ruth Adventures may be the get out of jail free card that BBC, and I say BBC in its entirety, BBC Wales, BBC Studios, the Director General's office, I believe Dr. Ruth is their get out of jail free card. Will it work? It could do. I'll tell you how I think it could work. We'll go over that. I'll tell you how I think it could work. Will they do that? I don't know. Maybe. Oh, listen. It's perfectly possible. It is perfectly possible they will just continue on in the route they've been going, and doubtless Doctor Who will continue on in the route they've been going, which is kind of like, very, very on a downward spiral. Is it spiral or slope? I think more slope. Spiral gives it a little bit more time. No, this has been a free fall, downward, which is totally possible. So we're going to be talking about all this all that in this video. Before we get into it though, can I ask you guys, can you hit the subscribe button? That would really be absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much. I am very, very appreciative. I am genuinely very, very appreciative of everybody subscribing. I have been described in recent days as a subscriber whore. And yeah, I guess that's true. I am a subscriber whore. Now, what happens if you subscribe, other than, making a rabbi very happy? And I'm sure, there's going to be, earthquakes and tidal waves, and, the good Lord will smile upon you in many ways. I don't know why earthquakes and tidal waves will be a good thing. But anyway, all those things I'm sure will happen in the spiritual realm. But what will happen? What will happen in this physical reality in which we all, live and inhabit together? Well, firstly, you can enter my ongoing competitions, my weekly competitions. The prize this week is the Judge Dredd prize. Judge Dredd Origin. So Judge Dredd riding into the cursed earth. Isn't that gorgeous Brian Boland cover? I freaking love that. Judge Dredd riding into the cursed earth on a mission into his very history, into his very origins, which is the name of the story. And there's a massive flashback section in it where you see young Judge Dredd and it's Judge Joe Dredd and his brother Judge Rico Dredd. So all you need to do to win that is subscribe to the channel. Subscribe, and in the comments leave the hashtag Cadet Rico, I think. Listen, if I say the wrong hashtag, I'll still enter you. Look at the video notes below. Everything's there. Also in the video notes below, if you're in a bit of a Judge Dreddy mood, there's a Judge Dredd audio adventure created by Big Finish. That you can link to download. The link for you to download. You can't get this anymore. It's out of print. It's out of license. So I figure it's fair game. If I get in trouble, it has to come down. That's perfectly reasonable. I would suggest this though. If you download it and you listen to it and enjoy it, if they ever get the license back, which I doubt they're going to, but if they ever get that license back, go and buy yourself a digital copy. But in the likelihood they're not going to get the license back, they have no interest in getting the license back. So go to bigfinish.com and buy yourself a budget release. There's a ton of really, really good stuff out there. I Davros, which is a really good. There's a 4-part series. It's on sale for nothing. It's like really cheap. I do. Recommend. So go ahead and tool over there. Fine. Okay. So there was one other thing. Oh yes, there was one other thing. I am offering to subscribers prayer requests. I know this was a funny one. There's a big day for non-Jews to entreaty the good Lord. I guess Jews as well. I'll throw you in. And if you would like me to pray for you about anything, tell me as specifically as you can. I am. I've got a bunch of them actually now. I am more than happy to do it for you. I don't care if you're an atheist, if you're not, if you believe, whatever. I don't care if you're Christian, you're Muslim, whatever. I'm happy. Look, if you want something, I want you to have it. That's how much I genuinely do feel that way about my subscribers, which is how much I would like you to subscribe. So I don't think. Again, I am a subscription whore. I'm definitely a subscription whore. So the BBC. They could be called whores in many other ways. I'm sure subscriber whore. They're going to be a subscriber whore soon when they become a subscription service, which is happening in the next 6 years. That's just on the go, coming down the pike. I don't think there's anything they can do to stop it now. They could have stopped it. But 5 years ago, utter morons who want to feel good about themselves decided that instead of entertaining entertain the British public, which does mean including some political ideology with it. Every writer is a human being, and every human being has their own worldview and ideology, and that if you're being genuine, that comes out in your writing. So that's always been there, and it's always a good thing. But they decided to do something else instead. They decided to go, ooh, we don't really like you people who don't exist in our little teeny tiny bubble. We don't like you, and we're gonna have to lecture you because you're doing the wrong thing. All you people, you're voting for the wrong people. So they lectured you, and they didn't really have the result they wanted. It had the result that people said, piss off to them, like very, very loud. We are not interested in you lecturing us at all. You are our moral inferiors. And I will say people like Piers Wenger, who was the producer on Doctor Who, and the Matt Smith is for a year. Now he's like the commissioning editor or something for drama programming. So I have the premise that the world said we need a complete upper class twit. We need a complete moron to work in the BBC, and so he was spawned, and that's where Piers Wenger came from. Now Piers Wenger, likes to virtue signal, and so he wants to show how he's super not racist. Now, in my opinion, when somebody wants to show you they're super not racist, it's probably because they're super racist, right? And his approach to showing you he's super not racist, in my estimation, has been a bit racist. He keeps saying words like representation, diversity, inclusion, but his output has none of those things. It has tokenism in it. It has like sheer tokenism, which is where we are with Doctor Who. It has sheer tokenism. I think if you want more diversity to reflect the changing, diverse nature of the viewership of Britain, is then give, say, 20% of your production budget to minorities, give it to black people, give it to Muslim people, give it 20, whatever percentages they represent in society, maybe even a bit more, give it to them, and have them create create whatever the show is, rather than just putting them in front of the camera. Because what's happening right now is they're making shows not for black people, not for minorities. They're making shows for that teeny tiny clump bubble, that tiny bubble that lives on Twitter, right? Of what they think black people would want to see. It's not. Normally, when you have genuinely ethnic, diverse entertainment, it's somewhat joyous. There's some real, or even if it's not joyous, it's authentic. Authentic. I'll give you 3 examples. There's Desmond's. I always say Desmond was a sitcom from the late 80s, early 90s about a West Indian or a Jamaican barber in Brixton. Again, joyous, fun. Tyler Perry movies, joyous, fun. And on the other end of the scale, not joyous and fun, we have 7 Years a Slave. 7 Years a Slave did well because it was a genuine experience, a genuine, I would say, ethnic voice, but it was saying the things that the predominantly white Twitterati, that clump of people want to hear. So but at least it was an authentic experience. So all those things work. Where they don't work is when it's tokenism. Tokenism just doesn't work. So a great example of tokenism is Doctor Who, right? Doctor Who, full of tokenism and terrible writing and lecturing, and the result of that has been the popularity has imploded, right? The popularity of Doctor Who has absolutely imploded by every metric by which one could describe something as successful. This current era of Doctor Who is not popular. It is not successful, which is fine. This is not necessarily a popularity contest. It's just simply not popular. So I don't think that was any problem at all about a few months ago. That was zero problem. No, they don't get the Director General of the BBC was like, well, I think it's important that we lecture everybody because even though we just got to lecture harder, right? Because they're not here listening to us, right? They're not voting the way we want. We got to lecture harder. So again, this resulted in an utter disdain for the BBC. I don't think the hashtag defund the BBC would have got far 5 years ago if hashtags were hashtags a thing then, probably. I don't think it would have got far. I think it's got far now because people do not like to be lectured to, especially how they were about Brexit. They don't like to be lectured to. People especially don't like to be lectured to by morons, right? That's one of the worst things you can do. And again, that is what this Doctor Who does. She plays a character as if she's a moron. And then she lectures people. Like you really can't have it both ways. So anyway, this era of Doctor Who has been a disaster, right? An absolute disaster. But again, no problem until a few months ago when the new Director General of the BBC came in, Tim Davie. Tim Davie was the head of BBC Studios, and it seemed there's many signs indicating that he didn't want to continue in the same direction as the previous Director General. He wanted to make the BBC into something that people would pay for. People would want to pay for. Why? Because if they don't do that, the BBC will go away. It will go away if it's up there. It's already like hemorrhaging money because the license fee isn't enforceable anymore, and it's hemorrhaging money. I think that's what $240 million last year. Yeah, it's absolutely hemorrhaging money. And they're making shows that people aren't that interested in. They're doing lots and lots of lecturing. A lot of people are finding it easy to say, yeah, no, I'm not that interested. But in 6-7 years, the BBC Charter is up, and I do not see the British public being interested in it being renewed at all. I think it's going to move to a subscription service. I think that's what Tim Davie feels. Tim Davie, he's very aware of Doctor Who. He's very aware of the commercial potential of Doctor Who because he really spearheaded the Doctor Who's commercial success throughout the US, and I think he's seen the sharp decline of commercial success, which I think is a problem for him because Doctor Who is a very expensive show. It should be a jewel and crown, and it's an embarrassment to the BBC right now. It's a sheer embarrassment. The viewing figures are just unbelievably bad. However they want to spin them, and they're just going to get worse. They're just going to get worse. So I believe there's some kind of schism between the new Director General, who represents BBC Studios, and BBC Wales. I think there's a schism there when I don't think there was a schism before. Again, it was the appointment of the new DG would seem to do that. So they're if there is a schism, how do you resolve it, right? I mean, listen, here's the thing. They're business people. Everybody has contracts, and everybody's got to try and work together. Our Doctor Who this current Doctor Who has been utterly commercially tainted by just doing a terrible job, an absolutely terrible job. So what to do? Like what to do? How do you get out of this? I mean, how commercially tainted? Time Lord Victorious, I think, says it all, doesn't it? Time Lord Victorious is the big commercial push. Why does it need a commercial push? Because I think it's lost a lot of money. It's not earning anywhere near what it should be earning. Should be earning. So I think it's lost a lot of money. I think this is a problem for Tim Davie, who again, one of the most commercially viable properties, is utterly failing. Again, that's not an opinion statement. That is just a factual representation of reality. One of the most viable commercial properties is failing, and the BBC needs their viable commercial properties right now if they're going to become self-sufficient, if they're going to survive, right? So how do you move forward? It seems that we need to completely. If I work in marketing, if I was advising Tim Davie, I would say you need to rebrand. You need to do a complete rebrand. You need to really disassociate Doctor Who with this current era of Doctor Who, because it's like just commercially repellent, utterly repellent. So how to do that and not admit that you've done terribly. Like, the one thing they hate in the entertainment industry is admitting failure. They hate admitting that they may have screwed up a little. There's never any mea culpa in that world, because it's staffed almost universally with the worst people, right? The worst, most terrible people. How bad are people is it staffed with? Piers Wenger, he's the poster boy. So they're not going to admit defeat. So and they have contracts in place. I think firing Chris Chibnall would probably be some kind of legal headache, right? I think he's probably got a pretty strong contract. But how can you possibly trust him with Doctor Who after he's made such a disaster of it? So first, the first component is you need to rebrand, a complete rebrand, a complete new face on Doctor Who. And the second thing you need to do is just go in a different direction. So, but at the same time, how do you do it without making Chris Chibnall look like an utter schmuck, right? Make him look like an utter idiot, which I think is a factor, right? I do think it's, again, in the business world, it's a cold reality. I think that's probably a factor. Even though, he's done a terrible job, and firing him could be, justify. He probably was going to have. They will probably have some kind of legal wrangling if that went with. And for what? And for what? So here's a solution that could work. You aired the Christmas special or the new special. It's already in the can. It's already filmed. And then forget about it. Don't regenerate it. Just forget about it. Move forward. Just forget about it completely. Season 13, start afresh with the Dr. Ruth adventures. Just have her in the TARDIS. Have her in that very cool, Hartnell-esque TARDIS having adventures. You can even have a story arc. Just have, and don't explain it. Don't do anything. Just have adventures. Probably bring in Paul Cornell. Paul Cornell, who I think is a disgusting excrement stain on the underwear of humanity. That's how I would describe it. I think he's a terrible person, but a damn good Doctor Who writer. He's a damn good. Make him the head writer. Have Chibnall still in place as some kind of showrunner, whatever. But have bring in Cornell, who clearly is a stronger writer, and then bring in some kind of executive producer on top of Chibnall with a very thick red pen that could just put a line through any idiocy in the script, like, no, we're not going to talk about the present, we're not going to talk about Brexit, we're not going to be divided, no, big red pen for all this stupidity. Just have adventures, just have fun. And of course, listen, the elephant in the room, which has been put there by the crazy racists who like to pretend they're not racist, is that Jo Martin is both a woman and she's black, right? That's the thing in the room, and that kind of tokenism really means a lot to them. Look, to me, her performance, not that she did much of it, was light years better than Whittaker's, but that's not really a metric you want to judge yourself by, which is one of the absolute worst betrayals in the history of television. It wasn't that bad. It's. But it was better. But I think having an executive producer in place to make sure it doesn't piss off half the population who doesn't look at the world you do, and have a good head writer. Have Cornell as being head writer. Listen, he sucked enough Chimble off to get the job, didn't he? I mean, we all saw that. And then, in the final episode, without referencing Jodie at all, final episode, bring back Jodie, wrap up her storyline, wrap up the Dr. Ruth storyline, regenerate, go forward, and they've won. They can go out and they can claim victory. They can go out and they can claim that, it wasn't this was always a plan. This wasn't a disaster. This is exactly a things meant to be. So they can claim all that, and they can save face, and they can reboot the property. Now, will it work? Almost certainly not. Almost certainly not, because the people who will be doing this are utter arse clowns who have screwed up to a level that I think is breathtaking in the history of television production. It could work if they followed the route I gave them, and I do see the BBC eyeing that as a best possibility. So the reason why I think the BBC might be heading in that direction is because a new company took over the social media management of the Doctor Who Twitter, I think Facebook as well, and this media company was appointed by BBC Studios, which I think is aligned with the Tim Davie faction of the BBC. Even though, again, I think he probably wants to keep the BBC as as together as possible, right? And try and while he's making these massive waves and stopping them with their utter idiocy of lecturing the British public, I think he probably wants to try and keep as many of them on side as possible. They took over the social media, and the first thing they did is they added a Dr. Ruth painting to those paintings of the 13 Doctors we had. Then they put her in the place of the 14th Doctor. You don't even need to say which Doctor she is. She could be another Doctor, alternative universe Doctor. But basically, that's basically how you do it. Just have adventures. Just have good, fun adventures without lecturing anybody. If you want to have a bit of a story arc, you can do that. Culminate it with final episode where you bring Jodie back, you wrap everything up, and again, claim victory. And you know what? I think it's the best option for the BBC. I think it's the best option for Tim Davie. What will they do? Who the hell knows? Who the hell knows? We're going to be hearing in about a week or two. There's was it New York Comic Con, and they're going to be there's lots of panels with Doctor Who with Jodie. Clearly not open to the public because they can't do that because she'll get savage. And I don't think she knows how badly she's done. You know, honestly, if I did interview her, I'd love to interview her. My first question would be like, so you know, how do you think it's going? Because I'd love to know. How do you think it's going? Because it's going so badly. It's going so unbelievably badly in every way. I mean, listen, they got it prepaid for by HBO. They got to deliver there. But, you know, other than that, it's just going so badly. Look, if it worked, it worked. I wouldn't be convention, but it didn't work. It's failed. It's failed horribly. So there you go. There you go. Dr. Ruth is probably their best bet as a compromise move to rebrand and reboot the series and move forward without completely taking a piss over the current production team, which, you know, we would all like to happen, but just in the business world, I don't see can happen without there being legal ramifications. So there you go. There you go. What do you think of my theory? What do you think? Am I a Nostradamus or am I just a dumbass? Which one? What do you think about? Which one do you think? Please let me know in the comments. Enter the competition and have yourselves a fantastic day.